Hello, grade 9. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss.
Good afternoon, Miss Sally.
Good afternoon, Miss Sally.
Did you finish your science quiz?
إيه؟
Did you finish your science quiz or it's not today?
لا, we finished it.
And how was it?
We're finished.
Was it good?
No.
No?
خالص. أنا بس الوحيد اللي عرفت أدخل من غير.
Yes, it was not good.
كنت بدخل بالأندرويد.
يعني there were some problems for some people. يعني not for me, but there were some problems for some people.
Which is better بقى? To have it online or to have paper?
لا, taking the quiz written.
To be written, right?
Online.
لا, not
Online.
online. Just online. لا,
Online.
not online.
والله
عشان online يا
This
جماعة يبقى
I
MCQ.
faced a problem. My phone was not ready to open the link itself.
Oh.
I had only 5 minutes to solve the quiz.
طب which program the teacher was using? Mr. مطر.
مش عارفة حاجة اسمها تيست حاجة.
مش بروجرام.
مش
هو داخل
بروجرام.
على النت عامل موقع عامل عليه تيست، منزل البيج باعتها لنا بالفايلز بتاعتها.
طب ادهم ابقى send me كده the link.
حاضر.
ايوه مثلا
اندرويد
النت عندي معلق شويه.
انا عارف كنت فيه.
حضرتك مثلا خدتي الاتندنس مس؟
Yes.
بس هو حضرتك خدي الاتندنس؟
No, I'll take the attendance from the waiting room.
اوكي.
مس.
Yes.
صراحة أنا عارف كل ده لأنني عندي أندرويد وداخل على الفايلز بتاعت الكويز بعد ما خلصتهم.
يعني الأندرويد much better in these tests? More the
صراحة عشان الأندرويد أنا منزل عليه تطبيق يدخل الفايلز، فأنا دخلت
Android is better.
اللي هو
ممكن بكل سهولة تخش على أي لاب أو PC وأسهل بكتير.
أنا معايا أندرويد هواوي.
اللي هو الفي بي ان
Miss,
right؟
the computer is better.
لا
The computer is better.
انا
لو
بس هبعت.
لو دخلت على اي لاب او بي سي احسن بكتير يعني، احسن من اي حاجه.
In Mac or in Android, any PC. بس
طب
PC
بس
is
انا
better.
هبعت صورة لكل الفايلز على الجروب.
Let's start our lesson today. You were missed طبعا yesterday in the class, but I'm going to be started from the beginning of the lesson. We're covering chapter 9, lesson 3, the tropical north, life of the tropical north. The first
Miss Sally,
yes.
Miss, I'm asking you when is the quiz?
Okay, طب before I start, we're going to discuss the quiz issue. Quiz inshallah, we're going to be on Monday, not this Monday, the Monday after.
Oh, okay.
Because this week you have lots of quizzes, so I will consider this and I will make it the Monday after this Monday, okay? It will
Okay,
be
thank you.
covering chapter 1, lesson 1 and 2, chapter 9, lesson 1, the physical geography of the tropical north, okay?
Okay.
Let's back
It
continue.
will cover, Miss, what it will cover?
Chapter 1, lesson 1 and 2, chapter 9, lesson 1. We were talking about the population, and I told you that we have ethnic groups populate the tropical north. In Ecuador, we have the largest indigenous country of the tropical north. We said that one quarter of the population are Native Americans. This is also their country. And we said that we have people called the Mestizos. They are a mixture between the white and the Native American. But 90% of people are Native American ancestry, and they're coming from parents or grandparents who are Native American. So mainly population of the tropical north are Native American. Okay, this is for the main part. But moving from one country to another, in Venezuela and Colombia, 20% of the population are only white. But 1 to 2 are Native Americans. 2/3 of Venezuelans and Colombians are Mestizos. واحنا قلنا الميستوس دول زي mix between the whites and the Native Americans. وطبعا we have population of Africans because they have slavery and slaves were coming from Africa. So we have برضو a small number of population have African or European ancestry. Also, we have like 40% of the population in Suriname are from India. Why? Because we have brought Indians, slave or laborers who are working in the plantations or in the haciendas. That's why we will have a mixture of African, Native Americans, and white people and African, Indonesian. We'll have Indian, we'll have Native Americans, white people, and so on. Yesterday in the class, we were covering the music and the culture. We're covering at the beginning the language. طبعا, as I told you before, the language in Guyana or Suriname or French Guyana reflect colonial heritage and the ethnic population. We have two parts which will affect all aspects of life in tropical north: the ethnic one and the colonial one. So because of the colonial one, we have a language called Creole. Creole is a language which is a mix or coming from many spoken different languages from the African slaves. When African slaves came to the tropical north, they were coming from different countries in Africa. And inside these different countries, they were speaking different African languages. So they wanted to communicate, so they tried to mix all of their languages in one language called Creole, and it is still spoken until now. In Guyana, they are speaking French. Why they speak? Speaking English. طبعا, this is because of the colonial heritage, because they were colonized by Britain. In Suriname, they were colonized by Netherlands, so they are speaking Dutch. Native American languages are also spoken there, and Hindi and South Asian languages are heard in both countries. So we have a mixture of languages. We don't have one language is the main language in tropical north. يعني for example in North Africa, Arabic is the main language, but in tropical north it's totally different. It's a mix between a slaves language and the heritage language and a colonization language. In Ecuador, Colombia, and Venezuela, Spanish is the official language. Why? Because they were colonized from Spain. فطبعا it will be the main official language in Spain, Colombia, and Venezuela. Native American languages are created طبعا regional differences in Ecuadorian Spanish because they have different languages spoken there. You will find also differences in the regions. Colombian are also practicing different religions. Why they don't have one religion? They have different religions also because of two reasons: the ethnic reasons and the colonial reasons. They were colonized by different countries, so some people have changed the religion to the colonization religion. And they have ethnic, this is what's called by colonization. They have ethnic population coming from different countries around the world, so they also have different religion. So you'll find in Ecuador, Venezuela, and Colombia, 90% of the people have the religion of Roman Catholic. Suriname has variety of religions. They have equal number of Roman Catholic, Protestant, Hindu, and Muslims. In Guyana, we had the Protestant Hindu with the Catholic and Muslim minority. يعني the minority there is the Catholic and the Muslims. But my question to you, why we have a variety in languages and why we have a variety in religions? Who can tell me why? Grade 9.
I know.
Adham.
Variety of languages because of the many colonists that came. Because there were many colonists. Also, the main language of South America as a continent is Spanish, except for Brazil, it's Portuguese.
Because it was colonized by Spain, of course. Why is there a variety in religions?
Because Spain at that time had Muslims, Christians, and many other religions, and the other colonists that tried to invade the area had many religions. So the religions spread and people began having these religions, leading to the variety of religions in South America or the tropical north.
Thank you, Adham. Also, we have variety in food, music, and other culture elements, because we know that culture elements consist of religion, language, food, music. These also reflect both the ethnic and the religion makeup. Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador celebrate carnivals, and however, these festives are not colorful like Brazil. And they are colorful, but not as much colorful as Brazil. Communities in the Andes also celebrate the regional religious festivals. يعني they have certain festivals or regional festivals. طبعا culture will diverse by the geographic areas. Native Americans in mountain regions weave baskets and clothes. Native Americans' main economic activity there is weaving baskets and clothes. They play the Andean music using traditional instruments, and they have a special dance called the cumbia, blends Spanish and African heritage. طبعا we know the Spanish dances is very familiar with us, and also African are using a special instruments such as the drums. So the cumbia is a mix or a blend between the Spanish and the American heritage. Also, it's very popular along the coast of Colombia and Venezuela and other Venezuelan coastal music. The coastal music of Venezuela, and also it shows the Caribbean island influences. They have برضو instruments such as the guitar and the maracas, and they make the music of Leno. So again, if you are talking about how the culture diverges from a geographic area to another geographic area, we will say that some people, or the African American or the Native American, main economic activity is weaving baskets and clothes. Some people there play the Andean music using traditional instruments. They have their own dance, which is called cambia. It's a blend between the Spanish and the African heritage. Okay, and also, yes, yeah, Bomika.
Miss, so for this lesson, do you want us to study from the PowerPoint only or the book also?
After revising and putting questions for the lesson, I will tell you, but mainly we're going to be studying from the PowerPoint because it's very summarized.
Okay. Thank you.
So when I ask you to state the main points about the culture and the culture in tropical North, you will tell me that they have variety of ethnic and colonial aspects, which have given them also variety in culture. They have the Native Americans, which are regions in mountain regions. They are weaving baskets and clothes. They're playing the Andean music using traditional instruments. We have the dance called cambia, which is a blend between the Spanish and the African heritage. Also, we have popular coast of Colombia and Venezuela, Venezuela's influence, and we have the maracas. We have the maracas and the guitar, which make the music of Neno. Okay, this is for the culture and the food. And I get you 2 videos, inshallah, they will be playing on the class on Sunday. You will see these more. What challenges do the countries of the North, tropical North, are facing? They have many challenges. طبعا the most important challenge is that many people there are very poor. I told you before, although the region has plenty of natural resources, they have mostly benefited a wealthy few men only, which led tensions within and between countries because they have variety of resources, but only who can benefit from these resources are the wealthy people. But people there are very, very poor. Also, many South American leaders believe that trade will strengthen their country economics. So in 2008, all South American countries have joined to form the South American nation, UNASUR. This is like a community, or they are joining together in one community in order to try to improve their economy, their economic situation. They have tried to gather in one union and also in order to improve their economic situation, because they believe that the only way of improving their situation will be through trade. So when do you join together? Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Miss, my internet was out and just came back now. Did you take attendance?
No, I take it from the waiting room and I will put you in.
Okay, thank you, Miss.
You're welcome. So anyway, again, we said that they have faced many challenges. The first challenge, that many people are poor, although they have plenty of natural resources, but who will see people only who benefit from these resources. The leaders of the South American countries have believed that they can improve their economy by trade. So they have decided to make one union for all the countries in South America. And they have called it the South American Union or Nations, UNASUR. What happens? Or what are the goals of this union? This union of South American nations have many goals. First, to end tariffs or taxes on the imported goods. What's meant by the tariffs? Tariffs is the taxes on the imported goods. Why do you want to end this? If you are going to مثلا get food from outside, يعني import food, if you get it with its real price, it will not be expensive. But because we put taxes for the imported goods which is coming from other countries, these goods are very expensive. For example, let's give you very, very easy one. The difference in price between the chips, اللي هو Egyptian chips, and the Pringles. Can you find the difference?
ان الايجيبشن شيبس نسخه مقلده اصلا من شيبس اسمه ليز.
crisps.
انما
Hmm.
البرينجلز ديت
How it costs?
We're talking about the cost itself.
Yes, there is a difference.
Yes, there is a difference.
Is
It's cheaper.
Yes. Why bad? Because Pringles are imported goods. So we put taxes on these imported goods. That's why طبعا there is a difference in currency, and there is a difference in برضو ايه currency. That's why it's much expensive more than the regular chips. طب what will happen if we have cancelled these taxes? It will be a cheap, so people can afford it. So you want to find a difference between people. So they have decided at the very beginning, they have decided to cancel or to erase all the taxes on the imported goods. This was their first goal between the members of the nations only, يعني not between everyone, the members of this nation, of the UNASUR nation. Okay. Also, they have decided to adopt a single currency similar to the euro. And they will be dealing with the same currency. So you will need to find a difference in price. So this will help people a little bit to get stuff with little money. So you want to find more poor people because the situation is miserable there. People can't find food, can't find medicine. They are very poor. They are suffering of hunger. They are dying of hunger every year. So this was the decision of their leader. Was it successful or not? Up till now they're still suffering. And I will show you a video inshallah on Sunday. You will find how they are suffering. And I will also put the link of the video for the online students to see it. But another challenge in the country relationship with the United States. طبعا you know that United States is one of the countries which has a leading power in the world. So the relationship between any country and the United States is very important at somehow. So the first challenge was they were very poor. The second challenge, the relationship with the United States. Actually, the relationship with the United States is very rocky, or was very rocky in the past. United States and Colombian government are working together to stop the flow of the illegal drugs. Remember when I told you that they have a flow of illegal drugs? I told you that it's main income is coming from the illegal drugs. So the United States want to stop this flow with the Colombian government. They are working now together to stop these illegal drugs. But are they working or not? برضو it's not working the way they want it. We have the president, Hugo Chavez. He raised tensions between Venezuela and the United States. So what happened? We'll tell you. In the year of 1998, the Venezuelan elected Hugo Chavez as a president. At the beginning, he became the president. But Hugo Chavez doesn't like the United States. He criticized them. And he became friends with the anti-US government in Cuba and Iran. So now after they were trying to have a good relationship with the United States in order to fight the illegal flow of the drugs, Hugo Chavez came and changed everything. When the Venezuelan elected him as a president, he started criticizing the United States and he became friends with the anti-US government in Cuba and Iran. And he promised to use the country's oil income to improve the conditions for the country's poor. In the year of 2008, he seized all control of the US oil companies operating in Venezuela. We have companies who are coming from the USA, they are operating in Venezuela in order to help them get the oil. And they help and they get share of this oil, but he get control over these companies. So طبعا the US will be furious. His rule split Venezuelan into opposing group. في working class Venezuelan supporting his policies وفي rich men who does not support him. يبقى Hugo Chavez came and he did a vital rule to the Venezuelan. What was his rule? At the beginning, when he was elected as a president of Venezuela, he started criticizing United States. And he became friends with the anti-US government in Cuba and Iran. And he promised that the oil income will improve the conditions for the country's poor, but actually it's not happening. يعني people are still poor till now. And he also put his hands or his control over the US companies operating in Venezuela. But after this happens, people in Venezuela have split it into two groups. And wealthy people are against him, but the poor people are beside him and his side because they are waiting, hopefully, that they're going to gain money from the oil, but actually, until now, they're still suffering. Understood?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
ممكن تدي a brief summary about the President Hugo Chavez in Venezuela? يلا يا بوميكا.
Miss, can you say again because the
Miss, should I start?
Who said say again?
me, Farah.
Farah, Bhumika will start. Listen to her. I'm going to be helping and completing. Okay?
Okay.
Bhumika, huh?
The President Hugo was selected. He was selected as the president. He wanted to get the country be rich, so he took control of all the oil companies and the U.S. that came to Venezuela in order to to take their oil. So he seized their companies. And because of that, all the wealthy people were against him and the poor people with him because they thought that he will help them be rich.
So, this is part of it. Thank you, Bhumika. Yes, he did something before putting or controlling the oil companies. He became friends with the anti-US government in Cuba and Iran. So he was heading very fast towards the being enemy to the US. And at the end, he didn't even help part of his people until now. This, one of the challenges was that people are poor and they are not making use of their resources. The second challenge in Venezuela, when Hugo Chavez became a president, and we have said what happens. And also the third one, or the third challenge, is the relationship between the United States is very rocky, and the government are not working together to stop the illegal drugs. The last thing here in the lesson today, the government in Colombia has a long struggle with something called the FARC. The FARC is the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. Now, what does they want? They want to decrease the foreign influence in Colombia and to help poor farmers. It's all about the poor people. We have poor people, we have poor farmers, and these movements are coming or struggling in order to create a better economic life for the poor people. So we have the FARC, we have the union that has been created in order to help poor people, but actually you'll find at the end, people are still poor and they are not get benefit at any level from these movements. It's a revolutionary armed forces of Colombia. What does they want? They want to decrease the foreign influence. Foreign influence, people who are trying to control the country from outside in Colombia, and to help poor farmers. This is what happens in Colombia, the FARC. In Ecuador, they have indigenous people protested for rights برضو. When the president did not help them, they organized to win rights. People also برضو are trying to make protests and revolutions against the president. They want to have more rights. They want to have more representations in the presidency. They want to get access to land, to basic service, to political representations. So people in tropical north are suffering from different challenges, mostly because they are very poor, they don't have any service, they don't have any political representations, and they are even controlled by whether foreign countries or by their president, who are putting control on the main resources, and they are not offering the people anything. So this was the end of the lesson, but who can tell me what are the challenges that are facing the tropical north country? يعني quickly كده try to summarize the challenges. Raise hand. Who can try to tell me what are the challenges? Adham, you're following?
Yes.
Tell me what challenge. What
Okay,
challenge, Yani, from what you understood?
1 second. Challenge.
What people are different from?
That they have economic problems that they need to solve.
Yes, they have economic problems that they need to work on. What else? Who can tell me what else?
Yeah, I know. I remember now. Many people are very poor.
Yes, many people are very poor. This is one of the challenges. They have also a flow of illegal what?
Illegal drugs.
Yes, they have a flow of illegal drugs. They have also...
They formed a South American Nations Union in 2008.
Yes. What's the goals of this union? Thank you, Adham. Someone else. What are the goals of this union? They have formed a union in order to what? Ota. Ahmad Ota.
Yes, miss.
هم عملوا union يا أحمد. They have formed a union. Why?
مس نص الدرس أصلا كان نتي قاطع فيه فما سمعتش أي حاجة.
طيب, again, they have formed a union in order to what? To cancel the taxes. I told you an example. To cancel the taxes on the imported goods and to make one currency to deal with it. But what were the goals of the union? Two goals. Repeat, يا أحمد.
To remove the taxes.
Yes, and to come up or to adopt a single
currency.
Single currency such as the euro. Okay, so also they have another problem, which is the relationship with which country? Relationship with which country? Bomika.
With USA?
Yes, they have the relationship with the USA is very rocky and it's not stable. Okay, so these are the main challenges. The relationship with other countries, the problem with the imported goods, and also the problem with they don't have one currency to deal with. And people, mainly their main problem, that people are very poor, although they have plenty of resources. I'm going to be having a revision on this lesson, inshallah, on Sunday. And if you have, for online people, if you have any questions, let's go through the PowerPoint. If you have any questions, you can join me on the online session, extra care session, and ask me. Anyone want to ask about anything before I end the session?
Miss, can you please post the PowerPoint?
I'm gonna be posting. But I'm not sure if the SMS is still working or not. If it's working, I'll be posting.
The SMS. Oh, the SMS is not working still.
Still not working? What's it for? I guess it will
yes,
be
Miss. Miss, can you send us the PDF on WhatsApp or anything?
I'll try, يا بوميكا. I'll try to share a link with you. I'll see. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any questions, guys? يلا. See you on Sunday, inshallah. Bye.
Bye.